What is a breath of fresh air? Man, it has been a minute. And I know if y'all watched Charles's his Shortie earlier this week, you'll know that we are shooting to come back sometime around mid to late October. So it is good to get a Shortie in. And obviously, breath of fresh air is not, and I will repeat, is not going to miss college football. You know what it is. So, without further ado, college football playoff. You're under the microscope. Let's get it. So, as you know, if you watch Charles's Shortie, he has his 4 picks for the college playoffs. So let me give mine, and I'll say this: there was some hard picks out there. There's some hard picks, especially from 4 of the top 5 power conferences. So I am going to follow suit with what Charles did. We'll start with the SEC since the champs came out of the SEC. So, without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. Georgia wins the SEC. I also have them in the college playoff. That was my number 1 pick. I will say this. That South Carolina team is coming. They are coming. Shane Beamer is doing a fantastic job with that team, and they are getting better and better, higher recruit levels. They're going to be a good team. Second year Napier at Florida, they're getting better. So there's 2 teams that are really going to be coming. Kentucky is always a scary team for me for whatever reason. Other than that, I don't really see much coming out of the East. It's going to be, it's really easy. Georgia has a really easy schedule. Should be no excuses. I mean, the first 4 or 5 games are at home, and their first road game is in Auburn. So Carson Beck should take care of business. I know we lost Stetson Bennett, lost a little bit on our defense, but hey, from what I hear, this is supposed to be a stronger defense than last year. So I got Georgia coming out of that one. On the West, it's a little bit tougher. I mean, I got Alabama coming out of the West, so SEC championship game, Georgia versus Alabama. LSU, they won last year, as you know. If you watch Charles's, you'll know a lot of the winners, but LSU won last year. Arkansas, man, if they get some get right in their system, they can make a lot of noise in the West. I don't really see too much from A&M. As long as Jimbo Fisher is their coach, I don't see anything. I mean, the way I look at A&M is as simple as this. Jimbo Fisher puts together a team to beat Alabama, and what he has unknowingly done is made a team that could be anybody in America, but he doesn't know how to coach them. So there's my throw on A&M. I don't know if Fisher will ever be able to coach towards a national championship in the SEC, especially with the likes of Nick Saban, Kirby Smart. My personal opinion, Beamer, Napier. I don't think he can. So with that being said, Georgia, Alabama, SEC championship. I say let's get it. We'll move over to. I think Charles went Big Ten in his, so we'll go Big Ten. This one's pretty cut dry. I got Michigan coming out of the Big Ten, so they win the conference. There we'll find out what they got against Ohio State late in the season. But I'm giving the nod to Michigan. I think they can handle business there. You know, you got the likes of Wisconsin, Penn State. What can they do? I mean, we'll find out what Penn State's all about when they get to playing. They're supposed to have a pretty good team statistically, but they still got to play Ohio State and they still got to play Michigan. So We'll see what they can do, because when they get into those games, they tend to throw up on themselves, shoot themselves in the foot, take a dump on themselves, whatever analogy you want to use, because Penn State tends to do them all. So I don't know what to expect from Penn State. They are ranked 7th in the preseason polls, but we'll see. I really do think it's Michigan's to lose by default, as Charles mentioned, because it's the Big Ten, and really, it's really only 2 teams, Michigan and Ohio State, and I got Michigan. Moving over to the Big Ten, this one is where me and Charles gets a little different. I have Texas coming out of this one, and I'm really confident with Texas. I think that they have a lot of depth. They have really good coaching. I think that they're ready this year. So they are one of my picks to win the conference. But for them to get there, I think Charles had them playing. I can't remember who Charles had them playing. I can't remember. Anyway, my pick, I have them playing, is K-State. I think that they are, but he has them playing TCU. I think that's who it was. I have them playing K-State. I really like this K-State team. They returned a ton of their players from last year, and they look sharp. So I'm going Texas, K-State, where Texas wins. Then we'll go to ACC. Here's another one where Charles has a little bit of a difference. He picked Clemson to come out of the ACC. I picked Florida State to come out of the ACC. I think Florida State has a much better team than last year. Florida State has grown a lot in the past couple of years. And that's the reason why I'm like, man, I could see this team doing their thing. So I have them playing North Carolina as well. But that one's going to be a tough one for Florida State, because they do got to go to Clemson and Death Valley. And then I want to say they played, and then they'll play North Carolina for the ACC championship. So I think their biggest challenge would be Clemson. Clemson ran that conference for the past couple of years. But I will say this. There is a couple of teams that I want to make a side note on. NC State, they're an up-and-coming team. They are going to get better every single year, and I think NC State beat Clemson a couple of years back, maybe last year or something like that. So they just can't finish. So if NC State gets to the point where they can finish, they're going to be strong and hard to beat. And then another side note, Wake Forest. Shout out to Wake Forest, man, because they're getting good recruits too. So hopefully the ACC they're growing in their own way. And last and definitely least, let's go to the Pac-12. There's a lot of good teams in the Pac-12. The Pac-12, I say good teams, but they're good teams in their own respected conference. USC, everybody's huge on USC, and I have never seen why. And even today, I still don't see why. I mean, because you got Caleb Williams, you still got Lincoln Riley. So if Caleb Williams puts you in the top 10, Lincoln Riley should definitely put you below the top 25, just because his name is even being said at USC. So, I mean, my personal opinion, yeah, they beat San Jose State last week, but it's San Jose State. And even then, San Jose State almost put 30 on them. So what happens when they do go against these other major teams? And everybody's like, oh, they're going to get into the college playoff. Well, if San Jose State can throw 30 on them, then Georgia, Alabama, LSU, Clemson, Florida State, Texas, K-State, Ohio State, Michigan should probably throw about a good, 100 to 120 points on them? So, come on. I don't see USC making a lot of noise. Oregon, on the other hand, Utah, Wisconsin, I'm sorry, not Wisconsin, Washington. Those teams are going to throw a lot up on them when they play them. So I'm not huge set on USC. Hell, I'm not even a huge set that USC's even going to win their conference because I got Neon Dion and the Colorado Buffaloes winning the Pac-12. So there's my 5 picks for the conference winners. I got Georgia winning theirs. I got Michigan winning theirs. Texas winning the Big 12. Florida State winning the ACC. And I got Colorado winning the Pac-12. My top 4 is going to be Georgia, Michigan, Texas, and Florida State. So there you have it. There's my college picks. And all I can say is it's going to be a crazy season. Now, I will say this about the Pac-12. As much as I have these other 4 conferences doing better, I will say this about the Pac-12. They're going to be the most interesting to watch. With the amount of offense that those teams can produce in their conference and the lack of defense that they have, it is going to be a fun season for the Pac-12. And hey, Pac-12 should make it like that. They going out with a bang, I guess. So with that being said, that's all I got. That's why we're breathing on. If you have any questions, comments, drop them down, leave them. We love the feedback that we get. And until next time, go Dogs.